Again, like every week in this video, we're going to look at 10 top styles for this week. These are all images I found on the community feed. So if you go to your MidJourney feed and you go to explore, you will be able to see these images and find the images as well. And I will try to link them also in the description. So let's get started. This week I picked these 10 images that you see on the screen here. I will scroll down just a little and we're gonna have a look at it. So let's start with the first image, and like always the purpose of the video is to find out, to show you different styles, how you can replicate actually certain images. And always if you click on it, you will see that you have the image prompt here, and you can also copy the image prompt just by full command, for example, going over here. If you look at that image, I picked it because I liked it's so simple and the hair has got a different style. If you look at the face, you see we have some problems with the nose, and the eyes also looks quite strange. We have a nice tattoo here, and I want, like every week, try to replicate that image, and I will just go ahead and put it in here in the right channel and just start with /imagine and see what we are getting if we use the exactly same prompt. And the prompt that was used here, of course, it's important: ultra detailed full body portrait of young gorgeous woman with glasses and long hair, tattoos and septum piercing, smiling directly in camera. But the more important is here, I think, the line art, tattoo style, and the simple. So if I look at the images that we created, actually I think they are much better than the images created that we have seen before. The eyes and the nose, it's a little strange as well, but much better as you see here. And I think these are pretty good results to produce. We could also go ahead and of course modify this a little if you want to. So in my case, I think it would be maybe beneficial to just tell it here line art, tattoo style, simple, and we could also do something like white background, and we could also try to add vector. See what is coming out, see how that changes the image style. But this is already a great image style, and we could go ahead and just upscale. For example, I like number 2, which would be this one. Just go ahead and upscale that, or make just some more variants of it and just click here on V2 and it will be some more variants. Till now it looks pretty scary as you see, but let's see what comes out. So one more thing you see in this prompt here, that I put in here no glasses, as you see here on top. So it is here simple, no glasses. I took out the glasses, and you can see if you don't want to have any glasses in your images, just write minus minus no glasses, and it should generate images with no glasses. Let's look at the second one. The second one will be this nice, I don't know what it is, 70s or 80s, it's 1970s. So looking at this image, we see it's a mix of a computer and the oil painting, and it says here the birth of computing, surrealistic pop art. So we give MidJourney the information of the pop art and the photographic collage. So it is basically mixing together this description of the computer and the description of the image in the background. And for this image, I think it's important to have the collage, the oil painting, and of course the description of everything else. And we can also take this and copy the full command, go back to our weekly images and just try to regenerate it. and see what results we are getting, because as you know, the results may differ, and then we can also go over it and remove some stuff, or I can test some other stuff. So if I just go in here and change it maybe to 80s, let's see what the difference is here. Then what we can do is we can go in and change. What could we change to make a difference? We just change it from oil painting to comic, and then we will have a look what is coming out. So this is the first version. We kept it actually like it is. In this version we didn't do any changes, and you see already it is generating very differently. So we have much more color in the image, and we have a very different scene because it is very free, of course, to interpret. And what we could do, we could give image weights to, like a stronger image weight to the computer, because in this case you see the humans or the picture, the collage is basically taking over mostly from the butterflies and all the woman here, and the computer in this case is a little bigger, but you see it's a very different image than we have seen before. And if we look here at the comic version, so this would be the 80s version of it. So you see it's also a little different. The style is a little different, but it's pretty similar. And this would be the comic version. And the comic version is, of course, also a little bit different. But if you would like to prioritize the computer, I would suggest that you type in Imagine, then type in your code, and we need to make sure that we separate it a little and give it an image weight. That means that we separate the collage basically into two parts. That would be, one is the painting with the butterflies and so on, and the other would be that we have the computer. I will do that now and we will look at the results. So if you look at my prompt now, I didn't do much work. The only thing I did is I removed some separators in the image prompt, and then I put some weight on it. So I put the models, I put column 0.5, and for the graphic, so for the console, for the gaming console, I put 2, which is actually too strong, as you see here, because the models are totally lost now. So we have the console, we have the butterflies, but actually the models are not there anymore. So I will try to change the weight a little again. So, and what you see now in the image prompt is that I just change it from the models, which have a weight of 1 now, to the other graphic console, which has a weight of 1.5. And if I click on the image and check it out, you clearly see that the console is quite big there now. The people are there. The butterflies are almost gone, and this is because our image prompt is not structured in the right way. So if I would do this, I would make sure that I have 3 parts, or you have at least 2 parts. One describes the picture and one describes the machine or the computer in this case, and you separate it. To get more deep knowledge on that, please head over to docs.midjourney, and here you can actually go into the prompt section and you will find the image weight. So I think if you go here into the user guide and the parameters, and I think the advanced parameters, you find them if you go here to advanced prompts and then multi-prompts, and you go down and have a look. So if you would just name it like hot dog, it would be this. If you put hot semicolon dog, it will be this. And here you can see actually how you can separate it, and you can put some weight on it. So in this example, we have looked in a different video already. Here are the tulips, and red is minus 0.5 in this case. So they took out a little of the red. So tulips 2 and the red -1. So they took it out. So you are able to actually put some weight on the colors, and you're also able to put some weight on the objects. How prominent should they be? How should they be understood by MidJourney. So I hope this is useful. We are now back in the MidJourney community feed in my bookmarks, and we have another woman this week. We have a lot of women, and I liked this style because it was this pixel and image. It's very likely that this is an image upload we don't see in the prompt, but we will see if we copy here the full command, then we'll see if there is an image URL there, and sometimes you also see it if we scroll down. So I guess this image was created uploading a photo and then overlaying the command. Gorgeous woman superimposed over abstract background made of evolving cellular automata. So let's see what happens if we use that in our image prompt. If we go to the weekly images again, type in imagine, copy it in, and like I mentioned, this is an image source. So there's an image source, and if we go in here, we can even click on the image source and we will be able to see what image to use to modify. So they used this image of this woman to generate that image. So they used this one, and I also think they used some other ones. Yeah, they used this one as well, where you can already see this is getting a little pixely. And then they described even the what they want to see, of course. So two images, one of the original person they want to change, one of the style they are looking for probably, and then one image prompt or one additional image prompt to make it even more going into the direction that they want to. And again, we see it is a very different result that gets generated by MidJourney now, because MidJourney still has a lot of freedom. It has the two reference images, but the reference images are sometimes taken by MidJourney, like for the position, for example. So I see some similarities in this. This must be a third one that was embedded actually in the image prompt here. So they used three images to combine and also image prompt. If you look at it now in detail, you see we have very different images, but still very nice. And we could again go in and change the prompt, of course. I really liked that image style, so I wanted to show it to you. Image number 4 is this image. I found pretty interesting. I like the colors and also the rest of the image. And always remember, if you like an image, you can scroll down, and as soon everything is loaded here, it should show related images. For now, we can have a look at the image description. So it's a cyberpunk city built on the top of a mountain. And the important things to get that image is the neon colors, neon light. The flying car is a description, of course, again, but it's the futuristic view, high detailed, unreal, hyperreal. So these are explanations that we need. And we see here are even nicer images, I would say. And we can just go ahead and again copy this image prompt, the full command, and go back to our MidJourney and generate some more images out of it. Like always, we start with imagine, copy in the image link. We see we don't have any image link here, we just have the image prompt as a description. And again, we can play around a little. Just go ahead and put in imagine. We can change some stuff here, so we can change, for example, the car to a flying cow. Let's see how that looks like. And we can also make it like Star Wars style. Let's just add that in, high detail, unreal, and then here Star Wars style. See what is different. So the images are generated already. This was the original image prompt, I think. And we will see again that this is very different. So this was the image where we added the Star Wars thing. So you see it made here some kind of ship. There are some starships over here, and it changed the style a little, I would say. The car is also here. It was hard to see in the beginning, but it's here on the edge. There is another car in all of the images, but there is one. For the other versions, this one is the one that is the original one, and you see it's also very different. There's nothing really flying around. There's the car, and it was the original image prompt, but again, it's very different than what we have seen. And this is the one where I tried the flying cows, but I cannot really see the flying cows. Maybe it's very confused. MidJourney is very confused what I mean by the flying cows. And maybe these are the flying cows here, but we can't really see them. Doesn't really matter. Just wanted to show you how you can modify your images. The next image I want to look at is this digital painting. I also really liked it because of the colors and the mixture of realistic and painting. A colorful digital painting, and I think this is one of the keys to generate this. And it's a mountain peak, blended colors and broad strokes. The sky is full of stars, and the clouds are in shades of pink and orange. The background has a surrealistic feeling to it, like Pissarro's work. So I don't know Pissarro, but it seems to be an artist. So we can go ahead and copy again this image prompt, go to our weekly channel, insert the imagine, generate it, have a look how it looks like, and then do some modification like always. So if we remove like the digital here from the painting, let's see what outcome that has. And just to remind you, if you want to make a screensaver image or something like that, you could go 16:9 for the aspect ratio, and then you will get actually an image that you can use as a screensaver. It has already generated these new images from the original image prompt, and you see again they are very different, but I think even nicer than what we have seen. Here it looks like a little the mountain would burn, but I also like that. Here it's a lot of snow on it and really nice colors. And the other one that we generated is here something that you could use as desktop background. It's also really nice. And always remember, if you want to use it as image background, if you want to use more, generate more versions. This is image number 1, this is image number 2, 3, and 4. So if you want to upscale this one, upscale means make bigger. This is U1. If you want to make some more versions of this one, you would just click on version 1. And to use it as screensaver or to print it, you need to upscale it. Otherwise, it will be very pixely. Now let's look at this apple. I found it a good idea to package actually this city into the apple. So it says a little city in the interior of a green apple. Style Henry Rousseau, complex details, intricate details, 3D, surreal. So I really like that, and we have a look if there are any more similar creations. And before I forget, of course, these are all not my creations. You will always see the creator here. Orietta, it was the creator of this. So we have to give credit to Orietta for creating this or giving us this idea. And these apples look really great, I would say, if you look at this one or this open one. But for now, let's just take here the copy, the full command again. We go back to our MidJourney, start with Imagine, see what comes out, and do some nice variations. We could say little, instead of little city, we can say New York City. Let's see what gets different. Let's just try that. A second one, we try Imagine. We can do maybe LA, use Los Angeles, Los Angeles City in the interior of, let's say, blue apple. With New York, we could have made a really good image, of course. Let's try this, and then we just remove the designer. One last thing to see if this makes any difference. So here, Henry style, Henry Rousseau, we remove that and see if we get any difference. So what did we get here? This is the original image prompt, and now for us it looks very different, as you see. So one time we have it on a picture almost, and it looks like some kind of cotton. And here we have also a very nice apple. This is a very different style of apple. Also almost looks like this looks like a melon almost, but it's a very interesting style, I would say. What do we have here? Here we have New York City, so it's clearly put in a little here of the Central Park, I would say, and New York City. And I really like the edges of the apple. It really looks real, and I also like this one. It's a really nice thing, and you see that MidJourney is able to put in cities inside. This was New York, and this is also funny. This is Los Angeles. I'm not sure how this is connected to Los Angeles. Looks more like the Far East, but MidJourney will have his reasons. Maybe this is the favorite restaurant of a MidJourney developer. But you see, the apple is really nice, I would say, and we didn't have too much success in putting LA into the apple. But this is okay. We can keep on trying. Another nice image I found is this one. This is again a very simple image prompt, but I liked really the style of it. And it's just vector illustration poster. That's all it is. Still, we're gonna take this and copy the image prompt. We go back to our channel, copy it in. Let's have a look what comes out originally. Then we go ahead and modify it. So I want to use, let's again use New York City, vector illustration poster. This is the most important, the aspect ratio. This will be like the poster. And then I want to go ahead and also put in maybe a color, like a color style. Let's use comic style, Pixar comic style. Then I just copy this and we do one more. And I copied it in, and now we do funny one, Minecraft style. Let's see what comes out. So this is the original image prompt, and this looks quite similar to what we have seen, even this. But you see here we have some text, and unfortunately at the moment it doesn't seem to be possible to get rid of the text. So I tried it sometimes, and we can try it again live here. If I copy it out, copy the text, go in again, make the imagine prompt, just remove what we don't need here basically. And I would go ahead here after the poster and say minus minus, and then say no text. It normally does not work and still puts some text into the image. This is also interesting. You see here, this is the one where we change it to Pixar comic art. And of course, it changes the image style dramatically, but I also like that. And let's look at the Minecraft style. I also like that. But of course, we see that the image style was changed dramatically. Here it's generating the one where we didn't want to have any text, and it was not successful to remove the text. If any one of you knows a better way to remove text at this time in version 4, in version 4C, then please let me know in the comments. It's still nice images, but we don't want the text, so we would have to go into a different image editing tool to remove the text. The next one, and almost the last one I want to look at in this video, is this stained glass. Beautiful sunrise over field of fairies and fantasy beasts. So I really like the style here, the stained glass. And this, of course, is almost all description. Erin Hansen, stained glass. So there's always two parts to it, right? There's the explanation of the image, what is on the image, and then on the other side, there is how we want the image to be displayed. And the more precise we are, and the more separate we keep the components, the better we can actually put the image weight. As we have seen in one of the first images where we tried to make the computer bigger. This also works, of course, for everything else. So we will try to make some similar images. First of all, I'm always interested what comes out if we copy it into our channel. And in this case, I'm also not sure if they didn't use any image. They didn't use any image as we see, otherwise we would have image link, and we will just do some modifications. In this case, we will just use the stained glass because I really want to see what makes the image like it is. And again, we will do something like, you know, I like French bulldogs. So I would go French bulldog painting. Let's leave it like it is, just like that, very simple, and see what is actually having the effect on the image. This is just a stained glass, or if it's something else they used in the image description. If you test like that, you are able to find what you really need to use in your images. And if I look at this image now, it's surprising to me that it's actually not really what we expected, right? Because it is not like the other one that we have been looking at, or maybe it was not generated. Yeah, it was not 100% generated. So you see now it looks a little more like the glass, the stained glass here. Not as good as we have seen an image, so you have to do some variations. But interestingly, our French bulldog is pretty well put into the stained glass. So I think it's pretty good results. And in this case, of course, you have to make sure the image weight is okay. So I would put more image weight probably on this case on the window or on the style of the window than on the dog. And then you would have an outcome almost like that. We would have to work on the light as well, I guess, and on some other things. But we know now what image prompt we need to use to generate the image similar to what we wanted to generate. And the last image I want to look at today is this one. It's also like a kind of pixel image, and I also liked it. Pete Mondarian Art. So this seems to be an art style. I am not too much into that, so I don't know, but we will find it out. Beautiful landscape, oil painting, masterpiece in the style of Besinski and Leonid Afremov. So there's a lot of artists in here, mystical. So I'm not sure what most of these names mean here. Then there's a paper, there's types of paper that probably make the painting like it is. And we're gonna go again and copy the full command inside. One more time, go back to our weekly image channel and have a look. First of all, copy the original, then we do some modifications. So we could just go ahead and change the beautiful landscape into, oh, let's do a mountain here instead of the landscape, a mountain. Let's see what comes out here. And again, we could go ahead and test why the image is like it is and what are the main components of the image. So one more thing I will just change here. Take away the artist in front, or just make it like a beautiful landscape and test like that. And we can remove the lighthouse down there. Let's see what difference that makes. And the coast landscape, because we have the mountain already. So this is, as I remember, the original thing. And the funny thing is it almost looks like our window. Now maybe MidJourney remembers what we have done before. It's different, but it's pretty nice, I would say. It's not what we have copied originally, but it's pretty nice. If you look at the second one, what did we change there? In this case, it seems like it was not generated fully. So if I looked at it the first time, it was still generating. So now it's much more similar. It's almost also like the glass window, but now we can see the style is really nice and really similar. The next one is also we need to wait a little, I guess, until it's generated fully. Now it is ready. This one would be the one where we made the modifications, just putting in a mountain, and you can see the lighthouse is now on a mountain. This is also pretty nice. The last one, we removed some of the stuff. So we put in here, we removed the lighthouse and we did some modifications here, and this is what came out. So there's not really the pixely thing anymore, and it seems like in this, you remember we removed the artist here. So it seems the artist, this guy Piet Mondrian, seems to be connected to this art style with these pixels, and if we remove it, we will get a very different result. I hope that was useful to you, and this was the 10 image styles for this week. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. I see you in the next video. All the best and take care. Thank you. Bye bye.